Today we begin the third chapter of the first part. May this reading relax your mind and awaken your heart. My quote-unquote room was a converted office on the mezzanine of the warehouse. A monk's cell of raw cinder block walls, a crazed concrete ceiling fretted with fine cracks, and an interior small paned window that overlooked the warehouse floor. Furnishings were a cot, a table, an electric hot plate, and hooks for clothes. My associate, Pepe, was on the ground floor adjacent to the loading dock. The latrine was outside. I had grown up in leafy Greenwich, Connecticut, in a house with 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a grand piano, and a swimming pool with a cabana. But this was enough. I heated rice and lentils, served myself, and opened the book Pepe had left on my desk. The Seer and the Scene was its title. On the flyleaf, scrawled in pencil, were the words, "You can begin, Sid." Did this mean I was now deemed qualified for the Secrets of Immortality by Sid? I turned to the first page. The text was made up of couplets, each followed by an English translation and brief analysis. The subject of the first few couplets appeared to be about perception. How do we see and what do we see? How everything changes. The eye sees a world, say a blue flower. Over time the blue flower wilts and dies, and the eye perceives this change. However, the eye also changes. It has qualities like sharpness, dullness, blindness, which evolve over time. These changes in the eye are perceived by the mind, which seems a constant. But the mind continually changes too. It is the nature of the mind to change. One can even lose one's mind. And now the question arises, who or what is it that witnesses the changes in the mind? This witness is called the witness consciousness, with a capital C. I read and reread the first 4 couplets, dutifully made notes, but could go no further. I badly needed to talk to someone, but Pepe and I barely spoke during those hot, humid days. Our preoccupations, his, the loss of the girls he was taking care of, and mine, the little text, having grown steadily into obsessions. He was incensed that I had this is a new word for me, reneged, reneged, maybe, on my promise to bring back the girls, and I was exasperated that he stubbornly refused to accept the cruel reality that the girls could not be forcibly separated from their abusive families. Not by us, not by him. We exchanged harsh words. "Why you study so much?" he said one day. "Sex, that guy, he no interested in you. You want the girls back because you didn't save your sisters," I shot back. "You failed, and now you think saving these girls will make up for that. Well, it won't." Angry words that could not be taken back. Neither of us apologized. But Pepe, who knew me so well, might have hit the mark. What was my motivation in studying this text with such intensity? Philosophy had interested me during my student days. My student days when I was safe and happy, strolling around the campus square enthusiastically debating Wittgenstein, Berkeley, and Nietzsche with my friends at college drinking spots. But the harsh reality of the last few years had made a mockery of those metaphysical inquiries into the soul. It means to break a contract, dear Dr. Ginny. Reneged. I'm sure I could pronounce that better. That makes sense given the context. Thank you. Our wonderful neighborhood wordsmith. The text that Sid had sent me was abstruse and of no help in alleviating the daily anxieties and unnamed fears of my present circumstances. So what was my motivation? Was I merely chasing a guy who had taken a passing interest in me? One expected to get hooked up at a conference in a 4-star hotel, but Sid had not made the usual moves. He had given me his full attention, but had not flirted. And while he had not offered any details about who he was, where he came from, or even an explanation of his presence at the conference, I had been at ease with him and felt no pressure to jump into bed. He had challenged me, laid down the gauntlet, and I needed to prove to him that I was qualified in every respect to receive the so-called secret knowledge of immortality. It was true that at first I might have faked my earnestness in listening to him expound to impress him, but wasn't my current effort to understand proof that I truly wanted to understand? Pepe was wrong, and so was Sid. I was not hankering after sex or immortality. Ah yes, the two goals of life. What I needed most was the simple comfort of being held, cared for, loved. I longed to be with Sid, feel his long, lean body against mine, touch his sorrowful face, listen to his quiet instruction. I had not felt this way about a man for a very long time. So I worked into the night, lighting an oil lamp after my bulb burnt out. Sometimes I only stared at the script, which, as Gabriel Garcia Marquez put it, resembled clothes hanging on a line. In Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude, a gypsy presents the Buendia family with parchments containing strange hieroglyphs. Generations attempt and fail to decipher these scribbles, which they imagine will direct them to a great treasure. Finally, it is the last surviving member, the doomed Aureliano, who is able to read the manuscript. The mysterious writing is Sanskrit in the Devanagari script. And to his dismay, he finds that the parchment does not lead to a treasure, but merely provide a detailed history of his rapacious family, an account that has predicted every event through the generations, of which he is to be the last member. Squiggles hanging off a clothesline is what I stared at night after night, like the ill-fated Aureliano, and like him I became convinced that the secret to the text was hidden in that sacred language that no translation could reveal. I needed a teacher, and I knew where to find one. Let's pause our reading of Moksha, liberation, there for now. Thank you, my dear viewers, for listening, and I look forward to being able to decipher this sacred script with you as we continue through the story of the Divine Mother coming to remember who she truly is. Namaste.